Yo, what's up, nerds? It's MTG Man, and welcome back to another Build Your Own Precon, the series where I'm going to show you the shell of a deck, and I want you to fill it out, the rest. So, I give you 100 cards. I want you to, cut some, put some in, and we're going for a Precon budget, so $45. Right now, this is at 38 and 20 cents, so that gives you about $7 of building room, plus whatever you cut. So today we're going to be talking about Ivy Gleeful Spellthief. She's green and a blue, flying, and whenever a player casts a spell that targets only a single creature other than Ivy, you may copy that spell. The copy targets Ivy. So she's a 2/1. So the whole purpose of this deck is you're going to be stealing, well, not really stealing, you're going to be copying auras, mutate abilities, that kind of cast. So instance, you're going to be playing instance that can target a creature and draw a card. So let's start out. So we've got Errant's Tree Artist. So she's 0/3, blue, flash, defender, haste. Pay 1 in a blue to copy target spell you control that wasn't cast. You may choose new targets for the copy. If I understand this correctly, you could copy a spell with Ivy, then copy it with Errant, targeting another creature to copy it with Ivy. So that can make your one draw into 4 if you have a spell that draws. Next up is Venerated Rotpriest. It's a great target. It can finish off a game, theoretically, since you are going to be targeting other creatures than Ivy. Coiling Oracle can help you ramp. Prosperous Innkeeper is treasure and ramping. Sage of Hours is somewhat like a win con, so whenever you cast a spell that targets it, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Remove all counters. For each 5 removed this way, take an extra turn. So if you do get lucky and you can cast enough spells, you could theoretically take infinite turns. You have Spellwild Ouphe, so spells that cast it cost 2 less to play. Stormchaser Drake draws a card whenever it gets targeted. Wall of Blossoms is a draw. Augmenter Pugilist it's just kind of like a beater, and then choose a creature and have each other creature become a copy of it, except they aren't legendary. So you could do some crazy stuff, having everything become Ivy, and then targeting one Ivy, having every other Ivy copy it. Something crazy. You've got Reclamation Sage as removal. Sea-Dasher Octopus, you can mutate onto one creature, and it'll also be mutated onto Ivy. So she just has whenever she deals combat damage, draw a card benefit now. Silverfur Partisan, whenever it becomes a copy of one of your instants or sorceries, you create a wolf. Topiary Stomper's ramp. Triton Fortune Hunter draws when it's targeted. Trumpeting Gnarr allows you to create 2 3/3s when it mutates, because one is going to mutate onto Ivy. Eidolon of Blossoms is going to let you draw every time you cast an aura. Gemrazer is both removal and more fodder for Ivy, so she'll turn into a 4/4 flying reach trample. Gnarlback Rhino draws you a card whenever it's targeted. Migratory Greathorn, you'll be ramping for 2 lands if you target something other than Ivy. Solemn Simulacrum is ramp and draw. Triton Cavalry so it seems bad at first, but so you could target Triton Cavalry with an aura, and then because it's targeted, you can bounce that aura back to your hand, but Ivy will still create a copy, so you can keep stacking auras onto Ivy. Volo Guide to Monsters, this deck just has a lot of different creatures, and he can benefit. Auspicious Starrix, so you kind of cascade, and you'll do double because Ivy will breaker, so you can target your opponent's stuff and steal it, and then also copy for Ivy. Ramp-wise, we're playing Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Simic Signet. That's it. We have other spells for ramp. Charge Through is just trample's fine and all, but you're going to be paying 1, targeting a creature, targeting Ivy, drawing 2 cards. Snakeskin Veil is hexproof. Spell Pierce is a counterspell. Viridescent Wisps is another draw. Gaia's Gift is a whole bunch of keywords. Negate is a counterspell. Return to Nature's removal. Simic Charm can give you things hexproof. Return 2 targets to your hand or your opponent's hand, and then it's also a giant growth if you need that. Swell of Growth is, it's pumping your creatures, but you can also put 2 lands down if you have Ivy. Verdant Rebirth is another draw. Beast Within is removal. Invigorating Surge, so it's good enough that you're going to be doubling counters, but if you do remember, we do have things like Sage of Hours, where doubling those counters up is going to let you take more turns, which counters come up a little bit more in the deck. So Quandrix Command, if I understand it correctly, you can... Well, actually, no, because this might target twice, so you might want to remove that from the deck. Enter the Unknown is 2 Explorers, 2 additional lands. Slip Through Space is 2 draws. Rampant Growth is ramp. Cultivate's ramp. Scale the Heights. You get 2 doubles, so you draw 2 cards, can play 2 additional lands, gain 4 life. Pretty good. Vile Duplicate, you'll be creating 2 creatures off of it, 2 copies. Soul's Majesty, being copied, it's going to let you draw a whole bunch of cards. Moving on to auras, we do have like Audacity, Combat Research, Curiosity, Rancor, Spider Umbra. All of them are just cheap. You're going to be doubling up. Some of them let you draw cards. Some of them are just pumps. Also, Spider and Eel Umbra do have Totem Armor to help protect Ivy. Rune of Might is a draw, and then +1/+1 trample. Season of Growth, it helps you scry, and then whenever you cast a spell that targets a creature you control, draw. So it's just going to help you churn through your deck more. Setessan Draining is a draw, and then also a pump. Ancestral Mask is going to get really big because you're copying each of the auras and putting that copy onto Ivy, so that's double each aura. Boar Umbra, Hydra's Growth, again with Sage of Hours to take a whole bunch of turns. Shielding Plaques lets you draw a card. It's also hexproof. Wild Defiance is a little bit overcosted, but giving Ivy +3/+3 every time she's targeted is pretty good. Colossification, +20/+20. The mana base is pretty simple as far as it goes. That could be an upgrade point. So yeah, you've got $7. What I would think about adding is definitely more... I don't even know if it needs more draw. I think it could lead more heavily either into auras or instants and sorceries. But as of right now, it does churn through the deck pretty fast. It's got ways to do that. Ivy comes down turn 2. It could possibly use more ramp, but if you've noticed, the CM or the average mana value is pretty low, so yeah, that's about where I would put it. Leave some thoughts, build your own shell. I'll leave the deck list in the description. Give it a shot. Do some big thinking. Comment cards I didn't think about, etc. So yeah, enjoy, have fun. Goodbye. See you next time.